Welcome to the Brahma Kumaris, where a new world is opened up for you. From humble beginnings in India in 1936 to a global organization with over 8,000 centers in 110 countries and 1 million students worldwide. Through their tireless commitment, passionate heart, and determined spirit, the Brahma Kumaris arrived in America in 1974 and have since grown to 35 main centers throughout America. There are also 2 residential retreat centers, Peace Village, located in upstate New York, and Anubhuti, located in Novato, California.
I want to just share a little bit about how the centers of Raj Yoga meditation began in United States. Actually, I was in Caribbean islands and I got invitation from New York that we want to start something about meditation. And it was in 1978 I came here and we rented a very small apartment in Astoria. And from there I found that a lot of people have interest. I realized that there is so much need, and from there onwards, then centers started in many other states.
Our centers are safe spaces where you can explore the power of your inner world.
The classes are conducted in many, many homes, many cities, all over across the United States. A lot of people, they learn meditation, they use it, that meditation, at their workplace, in their family. And also I find that children, young adults, because they are so much into what really is the life about.
The Brahma Kumaris are dedicated to personal and global transformation through the study and spiritual practice of Raj Yoga meditation. And at the heart of our teaching is the belief that the pathway to peace and happiness is to remember our original nature as spiritual beings, connected to the one source. In 1981, the organization received recognition as an international non-governmental organization affiliated with the United Nations and accredited with general consultative status with the Economic and Social Council. From organizing large-scale global initiatives to local community programs, the Brahma Kumaris has a tradition of service in every field that fosters spiritual growth among individuals from all backgrounds, cultures, and walks of life.
I hold on to this vision, the world of love, world of peace and harmony, world which is free from conflict and sorrow, where we can live as brothers, one family, children of common parents, one supreme divine power.
This is your invitation to awaken and join us in creating a world of love, peace, and kindness. Om Shanti. Right now, at this very moment, take a deep breath in and out. Remind yourself that yes and no can be a full sentence. So stop trying to please everyone. Stop stressing. Say yes or no. It's a full sentence. Breathe in deeply. Release. Accept that you are perfect just as you are, and you are open for room for change. No more stress. Say yes or no. Sway your body left and right very slowly. Come back to the center. Center your eyes. And then direct your eyes as far upwards as you can. Come back to the center. Direct it downwards as far down as you can. Come back to the center. Sway left, sway right. Remind yourself, yes is a full sentence. No is a full sentence. Today, stop stressing trying to people please and please yourself. Om Shanti, everyone. Welcome to your spiritual vaccine hour. What a beautiful beginning. Beautiful meditation on just confirming things, saying yes. And of course, I really love the quotes. Kudos to Aditi Goel, who was kind enough to put those quotes together for our show today. I love those millennials and those young energies that just have so much enthusiasm and drive to get things done. So lots of blessings to Aditi for putting together that nice little slideshow on today's sharing and today's time together. So I hope everything's going splendid for you. Today I had a nice day. Reverend Sylvia was kind enough to accompany me to my medical appointment, and it was really sweet to have her support there. So thanks to Reverend Sylvia. I really appreciated that wholeheartedly. And Bonnie, I don't know if you're on today, but your flowers are really opening up. They're getting so beautiful. And as I sit here, I can actually smell it, the fragrance of these roses are just so beautiful. This is really a time for people to be there for each other now more than ever. We're seeing what it's like when an individual soul might be struggling with a sense of value or worth or, I guess, sense of real identity. The choices that they make, you kind of wonder, like, what kind of a individual would make choices that create more fear or chaos or suffering or pain. And it's got to be somebody in that state. It's got to be somebody who is in a great deal of pain and a great deal of suffering, because you do give out what you are. You do represent what you are. It's a natural energy. If I have a lot of self-doubt, then it not only shows in the choices that I make, but it definitely comes across in the words that I speak. And if you're an expert in reading body language, we can actually see in the way that you sit or walk if you have confidence or if you're doubting yourself or if what's going on. So, and none of this is about really a blame about anyone. Please don't take it that way. I'm offering you this idea and thought for our opening moment together, to recognize that we're really all in this thing called life together. Like, every single one of us have something that we're dealing with. Every single one of us. There's something that we have to work on. And like I was sharing with Reverend Sylvia, of Unity of Washington, D.C., I go, you know what I feel, Sylvia? That we are approaching that stage of slaying the final slay of the dragon. Like we're going to be given our last battle to conquer, to come out victorious before God can really, really use us in ways that are going to be phenomenal. And I invite you to think about that. Are you ready to allow Baba to use you so powerfully that right now, all of this time that you have in lockdown, and I think I heard that some of the states, or I don't know, many of the states are closing down again. I hear that there's certain schools that are planning to open up, but I really don't think it's a good idea. I'm only concerned about children when they come home to their parents, if they have anyone that's elderly, or if they come back with with any sort of a bacteria or virus, and then they give it to the parent who's trying to make money for the household. I don't know. I just think it becomes a little messy. So anyway, I'm hoping that our leaders will somehow curtail that decision and will recognize, kids are still learning. Kids are still learning as we speak. And even though they are at home and maybe driving the mothers and the fathers up a wall, there's beauty in that too, rather than them being forced in school. So let's get on our phones and call our members of Congress and see if we can hold that decision off of opening schools right now. We're not out of the ballpark yet, I know many of us want to believe the pandemic is over, or maybe I don't know, Santosh. I didn't read any news at all today. I'm just picking up things. So I might be off today, but I also heard that there were some maybe negativities towards Dr. Fauci. Is that so? Something like that. There was some, I don't know. Anyway, don't believe anything that says in your heart. I think I still need to be a little bit more cautious. Of course we don't want to walk outside with a mask. And of course I don't want to wear gloves. But I just have to for this period. And I ask you, turn your attention to New Zealand and see, what did they do right? What have they done right that we can copy? Imagine this, everyone. If we just, everyone, post it, send it out on your social media, everywhere you go, just tell them, I'm begging you, just give the world 2 more weeks of you just staying in and doing nothing. Just 2 more weeks until all of this is gone. That's all we're asking. We can do it. We can do it. So, when it comes on to believing and achieving, the human soul is aware that everything in our life is about energy. Everything. Everything is about energy. And I don't mean energy where oil is concerned, or windmill energy, or solar energy, or anything like that. I'm just saying energy. Everything revolving around us is an energy. Us being here in our living room, the museums have been closed for almost 4 months now. That's an energy. The energy is still existing, but it's been rerouted in a different way. And it's been interesting, isn't it? Energy still exists. It's been rerouted, and it's just being used in another way. We believe that the particular times that we're in is to be of service. I believe that we're at this crucial point. It's called the confluence age. And it's the period right in the middle of the end of a dark time and the beginning of an age of light, the golden age. And here we are right in the middle of the confluence age. That's what I call this age. You can call it the great transformation. You can call it the great realization. It's an age of great shifts. And what we're looking at right now is that we are becoming what we have been believing. And if we have been taking on board the news and the information and the messages of a world that believes in doom and gloom, what will you get out of that? Doom and gloom. And when you get together around the dinner table, you'll talk about it. And when we see each other after not seeing each other for 3-4 months, it'll come up. And when you turn on the television, you might want to go to the news to see what's happening, because the recording in the soul is that now you yourself are believing things are really bad, things are not good, things are dark, there is fear, there's anxiety, we really don't know who's telling the truth, we really don't know who or what to believe, that the chemistry in the brain is messed up. Because if the soul, which resides in the brain, has no clarity, then the vibrations from the soul, which is an energy, will send signals to the brain and to your body and to your cells, and it will start to make it very confusing. And if we start to believe in that which is confusing, messed up, and dark, what do you think you're going to achieve? Any ideas? Those that are on YouTube or Facebook, feel free to comment. And I really want to ask you this thought. If you are believing the narrative of this time based on mass media, or media that has a lot of power, even leadership, what do you think you'll achieve if that's your gut belief system? For example, I've heard so many folks come and tell me, Sister Jenna, I don't trust this government. What will they achieve from that? I'm not saying they're right or wrong. I'm going to be neutral, like Switzerland. But imagine that if you and I are walking around with that feeling as a natural belief system. I don't trust the leaders. Then there's also, you can hear stuff like, I don't trust the healthcare system. Then you might hear stuff like, oh, I don't trust the doctors. I want to find my own way of healing myself. It's a belief. It's a belief. And it will drive your decisions, with you knowing it or without you knowing it. And you will achieve whatever the state of your belief is. I ask you to take some really deep breaths and allow your thoughts to land there. What do you believe, my friends? Write it down. What are your belief systems? Do you believe your faith or your religion will set you free? Do you believe the Democratic Party will turn things around? Do you believe the Republican Party will turn things around? Do you believe blacks are the best? Do you believe whites are the best? Do you believe Indians are the best? Do you believe women are this? Do you believe men are this? What do you believe? And based on your belief system, What are you receiving from that? In yesterday's talk on discernment, I was sharing with you the importance of being able to sift through the fake diamond versus the real one, the zirconia versus the real diamond, to be able to sift through what is an illusion, what is real. So I invite you to look at what are your beliefs. What do you believe? A few years ago, I worked on a project with Oprah Winfrey, and it was entitled The Belief Series. If you have not got a chance to view those series, I highly recommend you to do that. I believe it's on OWN Network, and feel free to comment and tell them you heard from it from us. But it was a belief system that basically people traveled around the world to search for what they believed in terms of their faith. And at the end of the series, let me not say anything. Slop. Whoop. Whoop. See, I caught myself. But it's a really good series that I would suggest that you look it up. We develop belief, or we believe in things in two ways. We either have proof that what I think or what I say or what I do will give me the result of that, or we are a pretty good handful of individuals. We don't have an experience of what we were told, saw, or thought, like as an idea. Somebody planted a seed in my head about something or someone, and I started to believe it. Just like that. And in my believing it, I walked around holding that belief about a particular situation or circumstance. I was speaking at a program in the Middle East a few years ago, and I took one of my very, very dear friends, Madame Fulbright, from the Fulbright Scholarship family. And Harriet, I had arranged also for Harriet to do a keynote address. I know my voice is getting a little dry today because I've been talking all day, so forgive me. But I took her to the Middle East, and we were there together, and around the lunch table when we were talking, there were many leaders from that particular country, and they were so disgruntled with the runnings of America at the time. And the reason why they were disgruntled with America was that they were not able to export their oil as freely as they used to. And I sat there very quietly because I thought, that's the only reason why you don't like our country. But it felt like he picked up my thought. Because then he went on about our policies and this and that. And I know that this was somebody who had experience in the government of the country. But then about an hour later, I sat at the table with somebody else. And that person began to speak basically almost similar things. But this was somebody who has no ties with the government. But somehow it had spread as a messaging about the United States of America. And by that time, I had reached a point that I can't go there. This country has done too much for me to ever feel like I want to turn my back on it. I just can't. It has its flaws, but it has its strengths, and the fact that I feel the United States has done so much for me and my family, when it needs me, this is when I should show up. I believe in that. I believe that if in a relationship or a friendship, the person has been there for you 85% of your life, and they made one mistake, I believe that I still should show up in that relationship. A lot of times we'll say, oh, no, that was my deal breaker, and I've been there. Or we'll just throw the whole relationship to the curve because of one mistake. And what was that? What made you believe that that relationship was flawless? That if the person made a mistake, it was so huge that you would end it? What was that belief sitting in you? The point that I'm making is the second type of belief could be these sort of delusional belief systems that you carry. They are sort of like theories of belief. You know, they are, I would call them like a bona fide propaganda. You know, it's like a bona fide propaganda. And it was marketed so well that I just go, oh my gosh, that's what happened? I've heard people say things about people and they know nothing about the person. And they will have a relationship with that person based on believing that the person is like what they heard. So that's another kind of belief. So you get that? There are two kinds. The kind in which you're gaining an experience, that's a different level of belief. You know what you're going to get. When you give love, you're going to get love. When you give respect, you're going to get respect. You know that. You've got proof. But then there's another belief that comes with no footing. No footing whatsoever. And you walk with the idea of that belief. Many years ago, we were at DMV. And, you know, I have my sari on wherever I go. Happy was with us too. And there was a guy in the queue. I hate queues, FYI. That's a belief system. And guess what happens? I always end up in the slowest queue. It is so painful. Just like, I know the minute I go in that queue, it's going to stop moving. I just know it. But anyway, long story short, I had struck up a conversation with a man that was in front of me. And he started to speak to me about something. He started to speak to me about Jesus and about the Bible and about this and about that. And I respected him. I go, sure, I think that's wonderful. I think it's great what you're doing and how everything is. And he was so strong in his belief system, you know, everyone. And he just kind of looked at me and said, do you believe in Jesus? You know? He says, do you believe that Jesus came to save your life? I said, how do I answer him? I was saying, I believe that Jesus is God's child, and I believe that he left a very powerful message for us to follow. And I love Jesus. But he came back again. But do you believe Jesus died for your sins? And in order for there to be peace in the line, I says, I believe he made a sacrifice and it taught humanity compassion. So you do believe that Jesus died for your sins? I believe his sacrifice did not go in vain. What an interesting conversation, huh? Because what I was going to do with him is ask him, what do you think Jesus must have been feeling when he was living a life of truth and people were up against him? Because I wanted him to become more personalized in his faith versus to force a phrase from a Bible down my throat, and I could recognize through his energy he himself had not experienced the belief. But I couldn't force him to do that. I couldn't. His belief was so strong that the only outcome that he wanted was for me to accept his belief, what he believed in. And that was his energy. And that was okay. I was okay for him. And it was okay for me too. Because I believe that we're all God's children, and that each one will find their way and navigate their way throughout this thing called life. And I think if we come from a place of love, and if we were to really come from our hearts, I believe that if you come from a place of the heart, whatever you'll achieve will be perfect. And everything will just unfold for you as it should. As it should. So let me know if this is making any sense to you, and if it's helpful for you, and put your thumbs up for me, and feel free if you've got any comments or any questions, please raise them now. We're going to listen to a beautiful song by one of our America Meditating radio guests, Paul Luftenegger. And somehow, I don't know where I got this. I think he might have posted it on his WhatsApp. And you know how WhatsApp saves the videos. And, you know, Paul is a lovely musician, and he has a very gentle heart. And I thought this would be a nice song to move us into our breath, but also to think about believing in our beautiful hearts, so that we can really maybe shift around a little bit. What do I want to believe in my life right now, and how do I want the energy to show up? Because whatever I believe, I will achieve. Whatever that is. Whatever it is. All right, enjoy Paul Luftenegger.
Your nose, and out through your mouth. Another one in deep through your nose, and out through your mouth. And another one in through your nose, and out through your mouth. And just keep breathing naturally. And say I love you, and close your eyes, feel your breath beneath that beautiful heart in your heart chest, and look inside of your soul. There is a love coming to life. I see your love. shine your light and shine your soul. You see, you are a radiant starlight, and where's your light? So would you please put your hand on your beautiful heart? Yes, put your hand on your beautiful heart and say I love you. I love you. And close your eyes, feel your breath beneath that beautiful heart. You have such a beautiful heart. You have such a beautiful heart. In your and take a deep breath into your nose and out through your mouth.
Hi, welcome back. Isn't his voice sweet and endearing? Yeah, I really like some of his music. We were in India. I brought Paul and many of our guests to Mount Abu, India about 2 years ago. And he also performed on the mountaintop, and everyone just loved it so much. It's just very sweet. In my next life, I want to be an amazing singer. I think it's just such a healing experience. But they say if you believe it, you'll achieve it. So Reverend Ivy always says, you can sing, sister. You can sing. And I go, Ivy, I'm not a singer. Yeah, I'm telling you, you got that voice. You can sing. And I go, I don't have it. But I think if I start to believe it, I'll have it, right, everyone? If I believe I can sing, the universe and everything will line up, and it will say, let angels flow through her lips. Look at that. I'm getting another aha moment as I'm with you. You know, that who's to say I can't sing? Yeah. Santosh, did you hear that? So our next profession is to bring out a song. That's going to be our next thing. He's like, oh no. He's like, no, please. Anyway, any thoughts or any questions on today's topic? So remember a few ways that believing gets really firm in us. We've done the same thing or thought the same thing or had the similar experience over and over again. It's natural that you believe that if you do it this way, there will be success. You will achieve something. And then there's another form of, believing in things, of stuff you just hear. You listen to CNN or Fox News and they say something to you and you just start to believe it because you say, well, they're the experts. We should trust our journalists. I know that this whole thing of fake news has been coined in the last 3.5 years. But we still believe what they say. And one of the things that I find so ironic is that as much as some leaders talk about fake news, they're watching the news all day. Have you ever thought about that? How could you say the news is fake and all day long you're listening to it? Something doesn't connect there for me. Something doesn't make sense. So what do you believe? It's so profound. It's so profound. Anyway, so belief is deeply entrenched in every soul. We all have something that we believe in. From the moment we're born, we're given a gender, a name, everything. And we believe that's who we are. But I'd like to offer you a scenario. I have friends at the Sacred Space Center, the Communities for Peace. Elaine Whitefeather was the founder and the executive director. It's in Sacramento. I've mentioned to you about them before. It's a drop-in center for LGBTQIA youths who have been homeless or really have been just totally thrown to the curb. And in my experiences of speaking to individuals in that sector of our society, I've heard people say, I'm in this particular body, but I don't believe I belong in this body. I belong in another body. I'm talking especially for the transgender community. And they'll say, I look in the mirror, I see my gender and my body, but I don't believe that's really me. Now that level of belief is a really deep attachment to an experience of the past that still isn't finished. I know a whole bunch of people are going to ask me to talk more on this, but if you want me to go more in detail, we'll have to do another show. But the point that I'm making is there are also beliefs and things that we believe in that are so deeply ingrained in the sanskars of the soul that even though everything seems around you to be okay, something in you says, no, this is not okay for me. Another scenario. Example, a woman has everything. Great husband, great home, children are fantastic, but she just has this feeling, this belief, like, I believe something awful is going to happen. I believe someone's going to take all of this away from me. I believe that something, bad will happen to my husband or my child. And she can have that feeling for 20 or 30 years, and nothing has happened to her family, nothing out of the norm. She believed it though. And the family is afraid because people believe that if you believe in something, it becomes real, right? So she carries that energy for decades. Nothing happens. But to her, something will always happen. That's coming from a previous experience. That's not of this lifetime. And I really ask you to investigate the importance of rebirth and how our soul is on a journey. And we enter into our bodies and play out our parts. And when we're done, we move on to another one. Because I think about that. What's it like to be in a body that you don't feel you fit? And you don't have to just be a transgender or whatever it might be from that community. You can just be in an African body and you could have a memory, a belief of just wanting to be white. They would call them, what did they used to call them? Oreo cookies. They say they're black on the outside and white on the end. Like there's something in them that's just recorded that I believe I want to be with this particular group of people. I have met Caucasians. I know a brother right now, he loves everything that's soul, everything that's African American. And you look at him, he's a white guy from the middle of America, and you're like, this brother's not supposed to be jamming on Stevie and Prince, but he does. And he ain't listening to anything Caucasian. And you look at him and you go, what's his belief? I think he carries the traces that he still believes. Maybe in a previous life he was an African American. I don't know. But why I'm sharing with you these aspects tonight, can I invite you to go deeper? to transcend the limited beliefs that you might be carrying for yourself and holding for yourself right now. And can I invite you to begin to believe in the soul? It's like when you start to believe in the energy of the soul, you begin to travel down a portal of stillness, of peace, of quietude, a kind of a stillness that captures your heart and holds you deeply. And whether you have to be in an African body or white body or a straight body or a gay body or a rich person or a poor person or whatever, somehow if you believe the soul is just passing through these parts that you're playing, and the most important belief you need to have is to consider yourself a soul and to remember Baba, everything will get straightened out. Everything will be neutralized. Everything will start to come up balanced and golden. So let's go into a nice meditation now, and feel free to have any questions that you might raise for me tonight. But just go into a meditation and think about these things. Get into that place. Take a deep breath. Exhale. What if I no longer carried any attachments? Attachments about who I think I am or how someone else perceives me, or attachment to my country or my gender, attachment to a religion. What would it be like to be free of attachments to labels and to simply be loving? So just for a little while, I invite you to let go of attachments. What if I was no longer attached to my name? How does it feel? Let go of your attachment to your gender. You're no longer a man or a woman. Let go of your titles. Let go of your nationality. And experience yourself letting go of even your religion. Now let go of your body. If I don't have a name, a gender, a title, a nationality, a religion, or a body, then who would I think of? And who would think of me? It would be the Supreme Being that would think of me, and I would think of the Supreme. In this meditation, I invite you to sit in an experience of unlimited freedom in real inner power. Now gradually observe how the soul feels as it puts back on the awareness of the body, nationality, the religion, the title, the gender, and the name, and bring through these labels your experience of being with the divine and feeling free and at peace with yourself. Om Shanti. That video brings back memories when we used to go to Miami. Remember Santosh and Sister Gita? And that video, everyone, I captured on the beach of that, what would you call those? Sky gliders, where he was just gliding in the sky. It was so lovely. And we were able to put one of my meditations on that video. That's what I'm saying. Like, I believe, please put in your comments now if you can. Share with the community, what are some of the things that you believe? I believe that every moment of my life is of service. I believe that every moment offers an opportunity to capture something that can be shared. I believe that nothing is broken, but everything can be repaired. We just have to know what needs to be done. I believe that at the core of everyone, despite how dark they might seem, there is goodness. I believe that nothing is impossible. And Asmita, you're sharing that you believe in miracles. That's exactly how I've been feeling for the last month. I deeply believe in miracles because I know that once a pure thought matches the moment of stillness, and there's absolutely no mixture in it, something miraculous can happen. That Baba's energy is there and Baba's magic is going to do something. I believe in miracles. Yeah. All right, so let's see. All right, Zora, it's easy to say change your beliefs, but it's not that easy to change them. I would say, Zora, it's easy to change a belief, but it's not easy to sustain the change. How about that? So let's not give up in at least trying to change the belief. Just think it differently. That's all we're being asked to do. See the situation differently, even once. And even if you do it once, it has interfered in the energy, the cyclical energy of that belief system, which means it's created a kind of a disruption. And as a result of creating that disruption, it's kind of shaking things up. And that's good, because then you'll start to kind of direct your thoughts somewhere else inside of you, which will start to bring about something different. So believe in that wholeheartedly. Believe in it wholeheartedly. How do you stay stable, Louise, and calm when you do public speaking and conveying information so clearly? Practice, 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 practice. Know your material. Know that I know that there are people who speak after they've studied something. I think the best form of conveying a message is to speak from your own innate experience, because then it becomes authentic. So whether the audience accepts it or not, you walk away satisfied because you spoke your truth. So find that part of you that can still be very, very truthful. I remembered once I was doing a project, the Pause for Peace project, and I was with a multi-billion-dollar satellite company. It was owned by an Ethiopian. It was in Silver Spring, and I had actually known him from my Georgetown days when I used to conduct the meditation sessions for the Brahma Kumaris. And I'd gone to him to see if we could get some support, some funding for a project that we were doing. And he was always quite respectful and thoughtful about the work that we've done, because everybody who knows us knows every penny goes into the programs and the projects that we do. So we ended up talking about this, and he ended up asking me advice for something. He should have never done that. Well, anyway, when he asked me an advice of, there was a satellite program that he was planning to start to release and have satellite connections or internet available for children in villages where there wasn't easy access to Wi-Fi. By the time, Louise, I was done telling him what he should do to strategize this, he's like, "Could I hire you?" I was like, no, it's just very clear. And here's what I know nothing about satellite. I know nothing about all this tech stuff, but I do know energies of the human heart, and that whenever you start or do anything, this is how it begins, this is what you go through, da 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 da. So I went really back to very simplistic ways of really pushing the thing. By the way, it went very well, by the way. He supplied hundreds of thousands of like these satellite, like these ebooks that would communicate only through his satellite. So then kids could get an education in these villages. Yes, I didn't get any profit for that. I didn't get any kickback from that idea. But that wasn't the point. The point was I still brought my spiritual integrity and intuition into what I go, okay, I see what you're doing. I would always come from the place of spirit. That's what I'm trying to tell you, Louise. Whatever the assignment is, whatever the job is, you can always bring your spirit into it. Remember what I said earlier? Believe that you are a soul. Believe in Baba, the Supreme Soul. Come from the energy of that experience and see what emerges. It'll always be successful. And even if it's not, you, the soul, will be okay. Maybe physically the drama, the universe has something else recorded, and by golly, I've seen that more than I need to. But when the soul is unfazed by it, and it's just okay, you were right. The universe had something else in store. So don't be attached to all of those, do I win, do I lose? So, good, Asmita, I'm glad your battery got charged. Hi, Nicole Jones, before you change your beliefs, you have to challenge them. Point on. Love that one. Ranju, I believe in drama. Good. Elizabeth Parker, I believe all things are possible. Me too, Elizabeth. Great. Nikki, Dicky, is there a website for the Oprah series? Yes. Go to OWN Network. I think it's OWN TV or OWN Network. Antonia, maybe you can type it in. And you'll see where I had actually proposed a journal. So there's a journal in there that you can also download as a complimentary tool, that as you watch the Belief series, you can also journal what your experiences have been. So please go to that, Nikki. It's on Oprah's website. And just type in the Belief series. All right, so hello, Zora. Thanks for that wonderful question. And Indu, always good to have you on board. And Geeta, Bryn, nice to have you. So happy to receive these messages. Let's see. Aditi, I mentioned you earlier. Tonya, nice to have you. Elk, welcome. Uma, welcome. Erica G. and Yesvi. Hey, Yesvi. Julie Johnson, greetings to you, my dear. Wendy Cummins. Bryn Queenly, Shobha. Om Shanti. Great to have everyone on tonight. Okay, we're coming to a close. We're doing well, finishing off on time, aren't we? All right, on the wonderful Facebook, let's see what's happening in the land of FB. Hey, by the way, I hope everybody went on to See Good TV by now, and that you've signed up and you're getting a chance to see a lot of the wonderful free programs on there that they're offering. So, Diamond, I believe that we're all healing and we will rise. Yeah, Diamond. Darlene, I come from love, and so enjoy sharing my love and joy to others. I strongly believe that is my path. Beautiful, Darlene. You really are that. Yolanda, I believe meditation is doing wonders for me. I will concur. And Enid, Om Shanti, one of the Hollywood stars of Florida, Enid believes I am enough. Look, that is so brief and that is so powerful, I can't even begin to tell you. All right. All right, my dear spiritual vaccine family, glad to have you. Ritu, Shibaba, bless you. Thanks for the wonderful thoughts. Beautiful, Riku. So everybody stay good. And here's my consistent thought. All of your beliefs are great. See if you can increase them. I believe that I'm an immortal, eternal, imperishable, pure being of light. And I believe Baba's love, Baba's light, Baba's purity is filling me up every time I remember Baba. I believe that. And the more fuel we have inside of the soul, well, the more capacity I have, the more success there'll be. So thank you for joining us tonight in our Spiritual Vaccine Hour. Again, feel free to send in any topics that you like, anything that you feel has touched your heart. And send it to meditationmuseum@gmail.com. And feel free to also type it into the comments section here as well. If there's anything in particular, anything that you'd like. I believe nothing is impossible. Okay, nothing is impossible. So just send it in, and if it's an area I'm not an expert in, I will be open to learn from you and see what I can develop and expand my knowledge of. I'm not afraid or ashamed to say that I don't have information on certain things. With my health opportunity, I told them, I don't know anything about this. So I'm a student, and so I'm learning from whatever anybody tells me. I go, okay, I don't know anything. Teach me. And I find that with that, I am much more clearer, because I don't come with the ego of, who are you to tell me anything? I can figure it out myself. No, I don't need to figure it out always by myself. I know that Baba will send me souls who will always be there to help. And I want you to believe that too. That Baba will always take care of you. Just keep remembering Baba with so much love regularly. And not if you're in despair, just when you're in love. That you just love life. You just say, I'm going to remember Baba. All right, so tomorrow in South Africa at our branch, we're organizing a really wonderful program to show triumph and strength and courage. It'll feature the legacies of Nelson Mandela and our beautiful Daddy Janki, and Sister Genti and a guest speaker will be available for you to tune in live on YouTube. So Santosh will show you that promo. So if you miss it, just go right back and rewind it and take it down, and hopefully you'll be able to enjoy a really, really powerful program that we're putting together in South Africa. My dear, beautiful, beautiful friends, big hug, bear hug, angel hug, deity hug, all kinds of hugs. But take very good care of yourself, and thanks again for selecting this 1 hour to be our time together. Have a lovely night.
A political icon and a spiritual mentor, seemingly from two completely different paradigms. However, the nexus lies at the point of legendary consciousness. These magnanimous leaders captured the hearts and minds of millions across the globe with their vision of a liberated world and unwavering faith in the potential for human goodness.
First thing is to be honest with yourself. You can never have an impact on society if you have not changed yourself.
हिम्मत की गहराई में जाएंगे। शब्द एक हिम्मत है, पर हिम्मत और भगवान की मदद का डीप कनेक्शन है। सच्चाई, हिम्मत और विश्वास। मेरी हिम्मत नहीं है, सच्ची हूँ। हिम्मत नहीं है तो मैं भगवान की मदद नहीं ले सकती हूँ।
Join Sister Jane T. and Ryland Fisher live when they share their insights, reflections, and personal experiences with these legendary icons, Nelson Mandela and Dadi Jenki, on Saturday, 18 July 2020 from 3 to 5 p.m. on the Brahma Kumaris South Africa YouTube channel.
Hi everyone, it's Sister Jenna from America Meditating Radio. I hope you've been enjoying Wiseish, which you can get live on Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube from 8:30 a.m. to 8:45. But you can also get it on demand 24/7. It's going to be your power boost for the morning. It's your daily dose for the soul. It's just going to encourage you to make the day that much more valuable. So join us. Looking forward to seeing you.